Hi, all. I'm Ron with Pacific Permaculture. I did this kind of spontaneous, live stream today, so I don't expect to have a lot of people show up. I've been wanting to do a live, and I didn't want to do it last night because it's kind of awkward with Halloween, and I thought. And anyway, but November is a new month, and start fresh. I've kind of fell off the wagon of doing videos because I've been having some awkward shifts at night, to say the least, to do video. I was kind of tired this last week. So anyway, I got about 10 more, if I counted correctly, to achieve my 55 in under 75 days. And shall proceed from here. I think I have till November 9th or something like that. Anyway, I've been thinking about inspiration a lot. Okay, so what has inspired me? Not necessarily in gardening, just whatever. One of the things that inspired me, even though I was just a teenager, and there's a book that you were talking about being all alone by yourself. And I was actually kind of a quiet person, so I guess I was all alone by myself. But anyway, I didn't know all the noise of life and all this, being an adult, right? But one of the things is, when I was in school, we read through Walden by Henry David Thoreau. Okay, so that was something. And in Walden, Thoreau goes out there and he kind of keeps to himself as much as possible, and kind of basically pokes fun at the townspeople, right? Because they're doing this and they're doing that, and they're kind of running in circles like we do nowadays, just trying to keep up with keeping up and all this. And anyway, that kind of inspired me about living a quiet life, and just being able to have a place to go off by myself. Now, I haven't achieved that. I haven't. Several times I was going to get a place far away from here, and I had relatives that would always say, "There's no work there. There's no work there." And to really, at some point later in my life, I pieced it together and I realized they would have said that about anywhere. They just didn't want someone to go far. And anyway, that's the thing, because you can't tell me that people all over the world aren't working. Everybody's working. So it may not be the type of work that one group would prefer or whatever. So anyway, that was one thing I was thinking about that inspired me. Another thing is, I had a brother that inspired me. He was very outgoing and gregarious and kind of an outdoorsman. He always, he wasn't a hunter like that, but to go explore, he liked to explore new things, get out. And when I was just out of 8th grade, he was already, he was 9 years older. So I was about 14, I guess. So he was probably in his early 20s. All right. So I had just graduated 8th grade, and my sister had just graduated high school. And she was waiting. I think in a couple of weeks, she had a job lined up she was going to get. And I didn't have nothing planned for the summer. And he said, "Hey, why don't we do you guys want to go to Yosemite?" I think he asked her first. It's kind of a gift of graduation gift, and high school graduation. And oh, yeah, why not? Type of thing. And then me, and I had asked my mom, "Is it okay?" And I remember my mom kind of going, him and haw, she didn't want us to go for whatever reason. And but anyway, she relented, and we went. And I'm trying to think if the timing's right. Yeah. So anyway, she relented and we went. The weird thing I thought was that she didn't want my sister to go. My sister was older, more mature and everything, and I didn't quite understand that. But anyway, we went. We got in his Ford car. It was a two-door. I think it was an old Galaxy that he had. He got it used. This thing ran like a champ. I mean, he had this thing for I don't know how many years, and if I see one of them anymore, it reminds me of him. I don't know exactly what, I wouldn't know the exact model, but and everything. But anyway, this thing, I mean, he drove it and drove it and drove it. We drove to Yosemite. We didn't have reservations. We stayed at some place that was way out. It wasn't near the valley, but we hiked. We just went in Yosemite Valley and seen some things that it was like, wow, I was blown away. Anyway, that was another thing that inspired me, just going to Yosemite and just, wow. And I was never one to really go out a lot and do things like that. For whatever reason, I guess my temperament. I don't like to be around crowds, and you get in the places that tends to be a lot of crowds. And also I had a lot of crappy cars I felt like might break down on me. So I'd rather have the rust bucket than buy the brand new car type of thing, because it was very much more pricey. Anyway, I'm trying to think what else. I had something else in my mind that before I started this, what inspired me. But I guess over the years, there's been a lot of things that inspired me this way or that. But those were a couple of key things that I can recall. Just things like I read the American Permaculture magazine used to be called the Permaculture Activist. Now, years ago, I was reading in there about WFE, which is, for those who don't know, they call willing workers on organic farms. So it breaks down like this. You sign up, you volunteer to help at an organic farm, and you have a place to stay, and you volunteer about like 20 hours a week, and they'll give you a place to stay, some food, it's cultural experience, and you're helping an organic farmer. And you can't expect a complete 100% whatever kind of weird diet you're eating, and all that. But they'll give you some food. You're not going to starve. And anyway, I was reading that. An ex-girlfriend of mine, I told, I wish I could go do that. And she said, yeah. But I had all these cats that were a carryover from her. And she said, well, I would watch the cat. I said, but I don't have anybody to watch them, and I can't afford to be paying people by the day to watch them and all this. So she says, well, I would watch them. So, I pivoted almost on a dime, and it was like, wow, somebody to watch them. Got a sneeze coming. Wow. Anyway, so I went and partook of helping people on organic farms on the Big Island of Hawaii. And anyway, that was a nice experience, and I had to get away. It was a little frustration at home I wanted to get away from, and I've never been a big drinker. I'll say, I like this kind of drink or that, but I rarely actually drink. And part of that is just I don't like the hangover of being tired, drug out tired for a couple of days. But so I've been fortunate with that kind of a hangover that I don't like, that it keeps me from drinking steadily. And anyway, so there I learned some more. I learned things about Hawaii. The Hawaii bug bit me. And for any of you who know, once you get bit by the Hawaii bug, you can't get unbit. That's the type of thing. And just how it is. They, I almost drowned there, of course. Was it then or the next time? No, then I think. Or no, it was the time before. Anyway, long story short, I went there. I came back. I got locked into a job for years and years, and trying to think what else has really inspired me a lot. Different things. I see things in movies sometimes. I get a glimpse of inspiration or this or that, and read things. Let's see, what else? Sometimes it's just an inspiration to get up and there's sunshine and, we feel good and all this, right? So that's something right there. And today, I actually woke up pretty late because I worked these weird shifts during the week and I was tired, and I did some things yesterday. Kind of tired me too, so. Make another banner. So I thought I'd make this new banner. I was inspired by somebody else did something similar. So that's the thing. And I don't know. Hawaii always inspires me. Some YouTubers have inspired me to do better. There's a guy, Howie, from Food Forest Permaculture channel that has inspired me to go to StreamYard to do live stream where I could get people on the panel and all this. And that's something, a lot of things. I was hoping at least one person would show up, but my apologies. I didn't want to disrupt the video because somebody in the household was going by. And anywho, just trying to think what, the story of John Muir has inspired me. So that's my knee. I was scratching my knee. And just what he's had done. And people like that, their stories have inspired me, Now, I know the whole American way and Western way of looking at wilderness and all this. To our mind today, it's not the correct way necessarily of looking at it, right? But in his era, they looked at wilderness as this thing where nobody went, and John Muir did a lot of work in that area, and he inspired the national park system and all this. So did a lot of good work. Anyway, so so that's something. John Muir. Trying to think of any prominent people that I read about Gandhi, okay, and that was inspiring. Now here's the thing: these people were all flawed human beings, but just because they're flawed human beings like the rest of us, I'm not one of these kind of cancel culture idiots that wants to deny all their good because they're not perfect. Okay? No, that's not the thing. If you can do better, you do better. Instead of criticizing the bad that somebody else did, a little bit of bad, and denying all their good, you do some good. If all the critical little idiots out there would do some good, we'd be better off than them complaining and destroying things. Okay, that's my take on life. And whether this thing is whether these videos get monetized, they don't get monetized, whatever, that's the thing. And it's very simple. If we want to make a bold, positive change, do the little things we can do at home. You know, look, if we all grew some food in our yard, we can change the food system. This country, the United States, has 340 million people. If on average we grew one food, say one plant, one tree, whatever, per person, we would change the food system in this country and probably in the world, because it would inspire a lot of people. Okay, so that's the thing. And so, you know, there's a lot of people that are super critical, that want to destroy everything. And no, we need to build things. Hi, Pete. Thanks for coming by. How you doing today? So what I'm talking about, if anybody has any stories of what inspired them, I shared some things. And I'm going to put the invite link. If you want to come up on the panel, you can. Otherwise, you could just comment from there. It's fine, too. I messed up and put the link. So how do I do that? Something messed up here. I wonder if it's because I got a sticky keyboard. The keys are sticking. Yeah, well, you know, cold's relative. Let me see what we got here. Right here, I've got much more. You'd probably fight to get what I got. 66 degrees Fahrenheit. So if you want to come up on the panel, you can just click that link. So I was saying, one of the things when I was in high school, we went over our class. I think it was English class. We read through Walden by Thoreau, and that was kind of inspiring to me. And then a brother of mine brought me and my sister on a trip and to Yosemite, and that was inspiring. And just like John Muir has done a lot of good, and it inspires me. And I read things about Gandhi later in life that inspired me. And of course, I can't pick out everything that inspired me, but just some highlights. And, you know, I'm struck by nowadays, they have this cancel culture nonsense where if you did anything that wasn't politically correct, then they don't count all your good, which is just stupid. Okay, so I was talking about that. I mean, come on, we're all flawed human beings. Nobody's perfect. My name isn't Jesus. You know, I haven't been walking on water anytime today. Won't be anytime soon. You know, so anyway, I think we need to acknowledge that people have done a lot of good. So they're not all perfect. So what? Nobody is. And still celebrate the good they've done. And I say now, if everybody did something good, we'd be a lot better off. You know, oh, you don't have a micro headset? Well, that's a little difficult, yeah. And but yeah, that's the thing. I'm struck by people that want to tear things apart, but they don't want to build anything up. They want to talk about lack of equity while they walk by homeless people. So come on. Don't be a spoiled brat. Do something good in the world. Even just start a channel and try to promote something good through that, if nothing else. It's just sickening the way society's got, parts of society have gotten. So anyway, I'm trying to think what else kind of has inspired me. I see now just the sunshine out here sometimes does, because we do get more sunny weather than most. We don't get the 4 seasons here. And sometimes we take it a little for granted, and then I talk to people like in the freezing temperatures and all this. Wow, we have it good here. It's more mild. Even the Native Americans, they were on the West Coast. They're called, I don't know if all the West Coast, but at least California West Coast, they're called the Ohlone. And it has been figured out by some brainy people that they had a good life. They don't know how long their life was, but basically they weren't farming or anything like that. They weren't tending crops as we know it. They basically anything that ran by that they were hungry for, they'd eat. And they would do some things like there was an acorn harvest they'd have once a year. They figure they work, I forget how many weeks, but like long days for so many weeks out of the year. And that provided 20% of their diet for the year. So they had a pretty cush life. They weren't like I got to raise a bell pepper. I got to raise this. I got to raise that. No, they had it going on for them. And we know they would do kind of like what we call a prescribed burn to make certain grasses and things pop up that were useful to their life. Burn off some brush and stuff. And they did it the easiest way possible with the technology they had. And there was giant salmon runs in the Bay Area, which collapsed in the late 1800s due to overfishing. They collapsed the salmon runs. And they kept all these people that were harvesting were getting more and more and more and more until one year they got less, hardly anything. So nowadays you wouldn't want too much out of the bay because it's so toxic. But that's just something that happened way back when. And when the Ohlone were here, they would just go out there and catch a lot of salmon too. So I'm not saying that was the perfect, they had some things that weren't quite perfect. I'm sure you catch some disease, you're probably going to die, right? They didn't have the drugs and things that prolong our life, so we could do dumb things way late into life too. Anyway, there's so much dumb in society. It's just kind of scary that people are living longer sometimes. But yeah, plugging along. And somebody said you lie if your nose itches. Well, some reason, I don't know if I get feel insecure or what, but my nose always itches when I'm on the live stream. And where are you from? Tennessee, Pete? I can't remember what the... He might be still on here. He might not. He might have boogied off of here. I might be the only viewer. The only viewer may be me. Wow. Okay. So, Kentucky. Okay. Kentucky is famous for what? Let's see. I'm thinking Jack Daniels, but that's Tennessee, right? I'm trying to think. I don't know much about the other states. Don't even know a lot about this state. Uh, I was thinking like Daniel Boone way back, but let me pull up some Google stuff and see what we can find on Kentucky. Just I'm curious. Maybe that'll inspire me some more. I know it inspired some fried chicken. Now I like that. I used to like it, but I'm scared now because if I get anything that's breaded, I have to assume that the breading is made with wheat flour, and I can't handle that. So Kentucky split off from Virginia. That's interesting. It's officially the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Admitted to the Union as a 15th state on June 1st, 1792, splitting from Virginia in the process. Kentucky is the 37th most extensive and 26th most populous of the 50 states. I don't know what they mean by extensive. The Bluegrass region contains the state's capital, Frankfort. I never even heard of that one. Frankfort, Kentucky? That's that's a capital? Oh, Louisville and Lexington are big. Well, I've heard of the Louisville Slugger, Bat, the Bat Company. Shares border the Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio to the north, West Virginia and Virginia to the east, which makes sense because both of those were originally Virginia. Tobacco was big, and yes, Daniel Boone. Okay, interesting. So I don't know if I remember any of this, but I'll remember the part they split off from Virginia, probably in the bluegrass part. The two largest man-made lakes east of the Mississippi River they have there. State's known for horse racing, bourbon, moonshine, coal, auto manufacturing, tobacco, bluegrass music, college basketball, and Kentucky Fried Chicken. And yeah, that was always a favorite of mine, the Kentucky Fried Chicken. Oh, so you figure that at some point, it says in 1776, the counties of Virginia beyond the Appalachian Mountains became known to European Americans as Kentucky County, which was named for the Kentucky River. And they think that Kentucky is an Iroquois name meaning on the meadow or on the prairie. And they have some examples from Mohawk and Seneca where it means at the field. Then again, they have some examples where it could be Algonquin or Shawnee. basically they're saying it's a flat place apparently. Huh. Anyway, that's wow, fascinating. But I'm reading something without reading it all out loud, and I'm live, so that's probably not the best. So, didn't know much about Kentucky till this day. I probably still don't know a lot, but yeah, I used to love that Kentucky Fried Chicken. Yeah, I never even heard of Frankfort, Kentucky until today. If that had been the thing like win $1 million, I would sure wouldn't have won. Oh, okay. There you go. Hey, Joe, how you doing? I know there's some places that are so flat, and you know what they call hills. We come to the Bay Area, and they call like foothills. They look like giant mountains compared to some places in the country. They're just flatter than flat, you know, like a sidewalk almost. And yeah, I did this kind of a spontaneous live stream today. I've been wanting to do a live. I didn't want to do it Halloween, and I could have done it Friday night, but I decided not to. It was my brother's birthday that passed last year, and I just, it wasn't the day. So, plus, I was tired. I was working on a few night shifts this week, and type of thing. Yeah, sounds like you got a very maybe that's what they talk about it being very divergent or whatever. Pete, they sounds like there's a lot of stuff going on there. How's Mississippi, Joe? Or is it Missouri? How's Missouri? I think it was Missouri that I stopped in one time, and there's a place called Zeno's, and there's a big old like a cow up there right on top, and but basically it's an Italian restaurant, and wow, I mean this was 20 years ago, but 16 years ago or something. No, I think it was 20 years ago. But here's the thing. I got 3 entrees for, I'm trying to think, was it 20? Was it 32 out the door? Or did I give them 32? I mean, it was dirt cheap. It was really good food. And compared to California prices, it was like, woohoo, I just scored on this. I ate so much. I got 2 entrees, and the girlfriend at the time got 1. Oh, we ate so good. And it was weird because we went in this place and it was kind of midday, right? And there was all these cars out there. You get in the restaurant, there was nobody. So I don't know if they're all just hanging out in the bar or what, but it was good food. And I don't know anything about eating from another state where you would go and all this. So I think we had one of these guides or something that because this was pre-internet. We didn't have some kind of internet guide going, you go here, you go there, or whatever. So I forget. We had some kind of a pamphlet, maybe from AAA, that talked about different places. We went all the way back to Pennsylvania to bring a bunch of junk for a friend that was driving back there that was all frustrated and just, she was a mess. Anyway, a couple years later, she came back out. Couldn't get rid of her that easy. The frustrated people, you just can't get rid of them. They stick around. I guess they find an audience. Buffering off and on. Yeah, you must have bad internet connection there, Joe. Anybody do anything exciting for Halloween? I got on the Hapsters. If you guys don't know about the Hapsters, check out the Hapsters. They have a lot of live shows, and it just a place to go have fun. Put it that way. Oh, Joe's over here, and I'm ignoring him again. He's waving like a son of a gun, waving to beat hell. Why the hell isn't Ron letting me up? He invited me, and now he don't let me up. Hi, Homestead.
What's up, Ron?
How you doing?
Doing good there, brother. Hey, you got the
sorry, I
on
can't hear you. Let me turn up the volume. I had it down for last night. How's it going, Joe?
Doing good. Got the mag Friday from you.
Oh, okay. I forgot I sent you one. I kind of went foggy on who I sent them to. Let's see, you. I think Glenn. Maybe Cecilia. There's one other person. I don't know. Whoever. Oh, Arkansas Woodcutter. Mark.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you letting me know it came in, because it's kind of weird. You send something and somebody doesn't say nothing, right? And it's like, well, did they get it? Did it get lost in the mail? It's not that I want someone to just like bow down, like, oh, it's so great. It just, I like to know, if they didn't get it, type of thing. And the only way is tell me when you do get it. So
right.
It's kind of awkward if they don't, but I don't want to. If I hound them, then it seems like I want them to act like I'm some kind of a god, and I don't. It's just that awkward.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if you heard, the Philippines had a Category 5 typhoon hit them.
Oh, really? I think they mentioned something last night that there might be something coming. I totally forgot. Wow, that's a shame.
Yeah. Typhoon
That's like a big old hurricane, right?
Right. It's speeds of close to 200 miles an hour.
Wow. So, like, don't get outside.
Yeah.
Wow. That's something else.
And I'm still not sure if my wife's mother's property is okay, because nobody's been able to get there.
Could be all blown down or something, huh? Wow.
Yep.
Hoping everything for the best for everybody. It's thankfully here we don't have to deal with that. If I ever move over to Hawaii, yeah, they get some hurricanes and stuff, but not a lot, but they do at times.
Right. That side of the in the Pacific, it doesn't matter if it's close to American shores or over in Southeast Asia. It's still considered a typhoon. Hurricane is Atlantic.
Oh, okay.
Typhoon is Pacific.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's interesting. If you ever go to Kauai, they have a bunch of chickens running around for when an Iki hit in the early 90s or mid 90s or something. I guess people just never tried to catch them and repan them or whatever. They're just running all over the place.
Yeah.
Chicken will beg you. You'll be at the park to go take a hike, and chicken's begging you for a snack outside the parking lot.
Yeah, it was Typhoon Raleigh. It was a Cat 5.
Oh, that's scary for sure. I'm sure everybody with Philippine connections going, uh-oh, what's going on?
Yeah, we some of us still are not sure what's going on out there.
Yeah, I bet. And
I've got
nowadays you can find out sooner generally, but just think 100 years ago or something, say 50 years ago, it took days, everything took longer to find out anyway, let alone, it must have been real frustrating for people.
oh yeah, especially for Filipinos that came over here 50 years ago or 70 years ago,
Yeah,
just to find out if something happened at home.
yeah. Or maybe they don't even hear about the storm and, some their village is wiped out or something, and don't even know. Yeah, that must.
Yeah, over there it's not a village, it's a province.
What's the difference? It's bigger area.
Uh, province is more like a village, but they call it there in the Philippines a province.
Okay, it sounds like a more official, like a bigger place or something.
Right.
Okay.
Well, even the big city Manila is still considered a province.
Huh. Okay. Well, everybody's got their own way of describing things, I guess. Interesting. Yeah, somebody did say something about that because I was on the Hapsters last night late, and she's Philippine descent. There's a lot of people that swirl around that channel that have some Philippine connection, right? So,
Right.
anyway,
Not just not just the Hapsters, Pinoy Ahoy, um, Pinay's Habit,
I mean,
Armandoro Journey.
yeah, to think about it, I have a lot of channels I go to that have Philippine connection now, one way or another. It's somebody Philippine descent, whatever. There's a lot of.
Or Married to a Filipina
Mm-hmm.
or Filipino.
So yeah, that's a shame. Big old storms come, and it's storm season right now, right?
Yeah, it's actually monsoon season right now, but it's nothing for them to get a typhoon.
Hmm.
And sometimes in between typhoons, it's a monsoon.
Wow. I remember one time I was in Hawaii and the guy was describing how the weather goes. Well, it's kind of like this, it's kind of like that, kind of like, and there's some basis. And then he says, but the other thing is, we're in the middle of the ocean. Anything can happen. Storm could blow in at any time.
Yeah, so true.
It's kind of comical, though, the way, yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, but storms can be blown in at any time. We never know.
So I was thinking of visiting the Hawaiian Islands in November, and just because things I got going aren't going to work out that well, but it's a stormy time in Hawaii, so you could go. I was there
Right.
one time in Honolulu, and these people were waiting for a shuttle to go and go. These young women to go shopping, and they were like, "What? I mean, there's raindrops coming down that are that big, just pouring down, right?" And they're like, we thought it was always sunny. Well,
Is it
pretty, I mean, plus they're going in a store anyway. What's the difference? But,
freeze to death?
it was crazy. They thought it was just going to be sunny and, like the picture.
Right.
Like sometimes it's cold here. And I tell people, if this doesn't warm up, I'm going to California because, the stereotype California, always sunny, always, all this kind of thing. We're all
Hello,
in the
Mike.
all the time. I'm missing people coming in. I think Steve. Hi, Steve.
Talking
Steve,
about Armandoro Journey, they're here too.
Mike, Armandoro Journey. Who else did I miss? A couple of them. I see people vaguely coming in. And
Homestead and Aussie.
Well, everybody that came by, thanks for stopping by, whether I noticed you or not. I did say something to Homestead Oss. That's Lynn and Wayne, I think, or something like that.
I'll
And,
get notification, Mike, when you guys go live tonight. They'll be live at 6 o'clock Central Time.
oh, nice. Yeah, I'll try to catch that. Although I'm getting motivated, and let's see, it's almost noon here. I don't know, we'll see. I'll try to make it though. Yeah, Steve. I used to watch C.J. Fletcher. Not that one. I missed. The thing moved, and I showed the wrong one. Yeah, he was a big old guy, and then he kind of messed himself up, supposedly from lifting all them weights and not eating the best in his life, and then he went back to it.
Yeah, I reached out to my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law out there about getting photos and video on any aftermath, and I'm waiting to hear back from them.
Yeah, that's got to be frustrating.
I got a little video on the typhoon that hit them just before the super typhoon.
Mm-hmm.
It was Typhoon Molav. I got a little video on that on my channel. So.
Oh, okay. I'll check it out. I've been lagging on videos. I was tired with my work this week, and I was steadily going along, and then I kind of fell off the wagon of watching video and everything with being tired. It's like, man. Thanks, Steve. Thanks for coming. Bye.
As far as I know, Mike, they are, but Jeannie is still in the evacuation center, so she has not been to the province, back to the property to check it.
Well, that's good to hear, MJ. Everybody you know, at least was family there is okay.
Well, Patsy's also inland more than what my wife is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's scary, them big old storms and stuff. You know, if something like that happened out here, California would be in a panic because we don't get much really big storms. When we get kind of big storms, everything does kind of panic.
Heaven forbid you guys get snow.
Yeah, we get snow, we freak out. That's we got snow twice last century, though.
Yeah, but that was over a century ago.
You know, it was 1979, I think it happened in the 1920s. Other than that, I mean, we would get them on Mount Diablo and stuff, really high peaks, a couple spots, but not down in where everybody lives.
No, I'm just saying, if it happens in the lower area, down in LA or San Fran or somewhere like that, they would freak out.
Yeah. It was I wasn't an adult then, but I'm sure it messed it, kind of tripped everybody out. One time there was it was in February. This is probably about 20 years ago. Also, there was a hailstorm. We looked out and there was hail. I mean, you talk about it's like everybody disappeared. There was nobody outside. I mean, it's a small town, but still, I mean, just nowhere. And I live way up the hill. I tried to drive up there. I couldn't, so I drove over to my folks lived down in the valley because my truck was slipping and sliding, wouldn't make it up the hill with all the hail on the ground. It looked like a scene like just snow all over, it just, these hail pieces were about, I don't know, diameter of a dime or something. And it just came dumping down. And for right 20, 30 minutes, I'm in the tax people thing, and it's by the window. We're going, look at that. Look at that. Pretty soon, quiet. Everybody was locked in somewhere, right? And
Right.
it was wild. It was nice, the quiet, but it was like driving through snow country or something. The road was melted off, but all the sides of all this hail. Thanks for coming by. So how's everything you're in Missouri too, OMJ, right?
No, OMJ's in Mississippi.
You guys got to change that up. Too many people in M states.
I can't help that unless I go just south into Arkansas.
that would help me a lot. So I can remember easier.
Or I go to the other side of OMJ and go into Alabama.
Yeah, I got it mixed up, as you notice. I was thinking OMJ was in Texas for some time, and then I mentioned it somewhere, and somebody's like, "Oh no, he's not in Texas." I think I referred people over like, "Hey, OMJ's in Texas too," because if I come across a channel, for example, like there's one that I was watching all the time in New Mexico. If I bump into other channels that are in New Mexico, I say, "Hey." And I think that was Out West Homestead. So I'd say, hey, Out West Homestead's in New Mexico also. Because, there's some more synthesis and stuff there and some commonality. And or like Florida. Hey, so-and-so's. And sometimes, ones at either end of Florida. But
right. Yeah, OMJ's got a premiere coming up. I'm not sure if he's got it set yet or not, but premiere from the Memphis Zoo.
Nice. Cool. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, they got a big old zoo here in Oakland too. And on my days when I'm frustrated with Oakland, I say they should just put a wall around the whole place because it's already a zoo. But
well, that's here nor there.
That's the way it is. But yeah, they got some big old grizzlies up in there. Grizzlies were native here originally, but there's none in the wild now. But yeah, they have one in Honolulu somewhere too. I've never been to because people say, "Oh, you go to the zoo." I say, I didn't go to Hawaii to go look at animals. I went to look at the beach and the ocean and stuff. Howie, I got your stuff. Thanks. I sent you an email, but I don't know if you got the email. Maybe don't check your email much. Howie's been a great supporter. He turned me on to StreamYards and give me some good ideas with building stuff.
Copy that, Mike.
7?
November 4th at 7:30 p.m.
So that's Wednesday.
That'd be Wednesday at 5:30 your time.
Wednesday at 5:30 my time. Good idea. Something else is Wednesday. Well, we'll see. I'll put it down and we'll go from there. We'll try. My appointment book is just a suggestion because anything can happen. But I will look into it. Yeah, I was going great guns on making videos, and I just totally fell off the wagon with this work. And, it's still dispiriting, but I'm going to get back on the wagon, charge my phone, charge my camera up and start making some. And then I'm going to have the 55, and then I'm going to chillax. do a couple a week because it's hard to, I want to concentrate more on the, building soil and these kind of things. You can only do so much of that a week.
Right.
So, and I'll do my live and maybe one a week, unless I catch something special I want to put or just some random thing I want to make a video of. I was amazed. I have like 300 views on my one called Listen to the Birds Sing. And that was just because I put it out there. I was hoping that I would catch some, lot of hummingbirds on video. And I didn't, but I thought, I was craving for putting up a video, and that was there. And I put it up, and I was surprised that it got that much attention. Let's see, I'm live here, but let me catch on this and see. It was like 300 and some. 304 views. I couldn't even believe it because I didn't really talk about it with anybody hardly or anything. You just never know. Like they say, if something should go viral, you just never know what it's going to be. So you just never know what's going to be popular.
Yeah, just like
most of my videos, I might get 10 or 15 views. So all of a sudden, boom, 300.
Copy that, Mike. I'll definitely catch you on the LS.
Okay, catch you later, OMJ. I'll try to catch the live stream too. And you go. Because I'm getting a late start today. It's already noon. I don't know. Because I do want to accomplish a couple things a day. And I slept all day after I was tired from the week. And then I was watching the Hapsters way late into the night. And I got looking at something else and all this.
Yeah, Panay's Habit was having a typhoon party. She started at 9:30 last night and was still going this morning.
Wow. Typhoon party. Oh, that's funny. I'm thinking maybe do a long live stream at like New Year's or something like that. But I don't have it all dialed in my brain yet. But I thought that'd be cool. I mean, depending. If I'm going to get one or two people to watch, is how beneficial is that? But I thought, if I could gather some people to come and get on the panel, and it could be interesting.
Yeah, it would be.
Also, what I'm going to try to do is when Earth Day come around again, this year Howie did a 24-hour, and I was telling Howie we could break it up, have people do sections, and I could do maybe 4 or 5 hours or 6 hours, and then somebody else could do it, so many hours, and try to cover the 24 hours, and it just doesn't have to be one person with their tongue hanging out, and talk about things, cultivate ideas and just stories throughout the world, because everybody's on different time zone and all that too, so kind of get a thing going, established. He kind of started it. You started it, Howie. It's all your fault when this takes off.
Yeah, I was just looking at the over there at Southeast Asia earlier. They've got a tropical depression right now, further out, but it might grow in strength. Might wind up being a weak typhoon. They don't know if it's going to be hitting just north of Manila or miss the islands totally.
All right, catch you next time, Howie. Thanks for stopping by.
Be careful out there.
Howie, I didn't realize has a big. He kept talking about this or that, and I'm not always focused. I'm sometimes I lose my focus, put it that way. So I talk to people about what's going on, and I never really looked into it. And he sent me a pamphlet, and I looked at the website, and he has a really big thing going on there. It got past me somehow, even though I was talking to him all the time on here. Uh, I don't know. It's just, I'm in my own thing, put it that way more, and just trying to get by and do my thing. So I didn't.
Right.
Wow, this is incredible. He sent me a nice diagram on pathways, soil banks, and easier ways to mix soil and stuff, and it's really nice. Really nice. I don't know if I have it here. I'm probably going to make a video later if I can find it again. I know I didn't get rid of it. No, it's right here. Food forest permaculture. He's got a whole thing on it, and look at that nice diagrams. It's this whole pamphlet, and this thing must have cost some money. And it's got a little QR code. You can scan that to check out their website. And it's got a phone number I tried to call, but it's international, and my phone wouldn't call it. Dang it. So, but yeah, I was kind of like, oh, wow. Well, I knew, but I didn't know, kind of, it was one of those things.
Right. Yeah.
And everything.
We've got wall-to-wall sunshine here right now.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we got that too. It's a nice day. Really, if I start just marking down the bad, what I consider the bad weather days when it's cold and miserable, I might have, a dozen in the year. I mean,
Not me.
We don't get a lot.
Not here. Because we wind up getting typhoons if they hit near Corpus Christi.
Uh-huh.
We wind up getting the remnants of that. We get the storms coming in from Washington, coming straight across from California.
Really? Oh, I didn't know there was it went that way.
Yeah, it doesn't go out to sea from you guys. It has to go somewhere.
I guess that makes sense. But I didn't realize it did that. I didn't know it hit you guys like that.
May not be the force that you guys get. Might be a downgraded force by the time it gets to us, but we wind up getting it.
Come to think of it, the weather person would always show this thing swirling, right? And it never dawned on me that, oh yeah, there's people outside somewhere else other than the center point that it's going to swirl into, right? I'm sure that's, you guys are in the swirl there.
A lot. Not right now, we're not. Because we've got about, looks like a good week and a half of nothing but sunshine before the next storm comes in.
Huh, well, that's good.
And we're slowly creeping back up to normal, the normal temps. We've been below temp.
Yeah, we get pretty good weather. We're in the 60s today. Honestly, it's usually pretty good out here.
Wednesday, we're supposed to get up to 70 degrees here.
Is that unusual, though, or is that how it usually is?
It's a little high. It's 54 degrees here right now.
Oh.
And that's still below average.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure what our av is. I'm just like I say, when it gets really cold, which to me, I got an electric heater on next to me right now. It's 66 outside. I don't know what it is in the house, but I like it mid-70s and above. That's me. I'm California spoiled, okay?
Well, you definitely wouldn't last out there in the Philippines.
Huh?
Unless you're Pay one for one of the high-rise hotels that's got aircon. Average temp out there.
So hot, huh?
Average temp out there is at night maybe 82 degrees.
I don't know as I've gotten older, but I used to just kind of thrive in the heat. But I'd have to condition back up to it because the Bay Area, especially right here where I'm at, where my house is, it's warmer, right, 10 degrees warmer, and I'm getting used to that again. So
Concrete.
I think in time I could do it.
Concrete heating.
Yeah. That what they call the heat island effect.
Yep.
And
I had that in St. Louis.
Yeah, and I'm going to try to moderate the heat on the house because I don't want it all that's hot, but I don't want to use air conditioning. I'm going to try to plan. Then where I have it's growing, I'm going to maximize, grow as much as I can with that heat.
Right.
A couple different strategies. I'm going to get a bunch of citrus heat reflects off the structural wall, and I think they'll do good.
Right. If I drop down, it's I lose StreamYard. I've been having trouble with StreamYard.
Oh, okay. No problem. This is a spur of the moment thing. It's not like I was planning on it and all this kind of. In fact, maybe that's what I should do when I plan. Say if I plan like a New Year's thing, check in with people and make sure they can be on. In other words, have a set bunch of people that, whether or not they come on the panel, needs to be in the stream. And so I know there's, say, for 3 or 4 people that'll be there. Instead of putting it up and wondering.
Right.
Kind of lock them in a little bit. Like, hey, I'll be there before. Because otherwise, sometimes I start when nobody shows up. It's like, oh, this is disappointing.
Yeah, you've done that a few times.
So I probably bumped my head in the wall too many times. Maybe I should actually knock on the door. Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking. I should start setting them up. Try to get a few solid supports. It's always nice if I can get a couple that come on the panel. So I'm thinking in the future to make one of my criteria for winning anything is to come up on the panel.
Right. This way here you can hear it from the horse's mouth if they get if you send something out.
Yeah. And it makes it more interesting if somebody might want to watch a replay. It's more interesting than just watching me talk and then reading comments. It's more interesting for me too to do it and have a couple people come up. I haven't recorded everybody's when they let me because sometimes here it's late at night. Like the Hapsters will have it at 8 p.m. their time, but it's 10 here, and I don't want to wake up and keep the whole household awake. So once I get it set up in my other place, I can be there by myself and I can get on more lives. Get better support from people's lives. That'll be a good thing.
Yeah, I try to use my earbuds as much as I can. Mainly because I might be in an apartment, but there's 5 apartments here.
Oh, okay.
So I don't want to disturb the others.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, plus I talk loud. I've been told this because of being the youngest, and bar none, all the people that I've met, the youngest in a family tend to be the loudest.
Yeah.
I think that's our survival.
And it's the oldest that's usually the quietest.
Huh. I'm gonna have to think about that one. There's something to that. Yeah. I was the quiet one in the family, but if you get me started and I talk loud, and that's probably why the older ones are like, yeah, don't get him started. He's loud. He's committed to his ideas. He's loud. When I was in high school, we had to take the psychology class. They figure it determines your personality. It's partly birth order, right? So the youngest and the oldest tend to be more kind of traditional like that, and committed to what they think and that kind of thing. So
Right.
it really has an impact on everybody in the group. And I'm sure some
Usually,
things they didn't talk about are affected, like, oh, let me get away from this person, because you're too different from how they are.
right.
So that probably has more to do with families breaking apart than anything. It's just we all have to be different. If we're the same, comments are no different between me and the other five. Oh, I think I fed you yesterday, just a few minutes ago. No, I haven't eaten in 3 days, type of thing. Otherwise, we all be the same name, too.
Yeah, I used to run into a bunch of kids that say they hadn't eaten for several days, and I'd
Man,
have snacks in my backpack and feed them out of my backpack.
wow. Yeah, that's tragic. It's, sad. And, this country, there's a lot of people that are having a hard time eating. If everybody
It's
grew
more
food, there'd be plenty of food around that people could eat. Assuming people
right.
are generous.
It's just like the homeless. I was talking to somebody just the other day. They said they had walked up on a box of fruit and vegetables,
Right.
just sitting there. And they told me they took a few for themselves, not realizing that people leave it there for the homeless.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's good that they realize. So next time, maybe instead of taking something, they'll actually leave something. Our culture is kind of really not a culture even. It's just kind of we learn these ideas that, oh, something's free, free, I better go get it. And some people are doing fabulously well. They would be the ones to empty that box.
Mm-hmm.
All about like all for me. No, it's not all for me, and heck with everybody else. So the world doesn't work that way.
The world has never worked that way.
There's a guy that I work with that was complaining. I don't know who he thought he was kidding or trying to be miserable with, because claimed he worked a double shift. But the guy has a contracting business too. Come on. You know what I told him? This is all in text, but I says, you need to talk to the Dave Ramsey show. They have some tools to get you to be able to manage your money. If you're a painting contractor, and I didn't go into all that part, which I'm going to say, but if you're a painting contractor and you can't make it without doing a double at a different job, you're either can't manage your money or you're a horrible contractor or something. Something's going on wrong.
Or they just want to get the contracts done.
No, but I mean, he's working at my job as a watchman, claiming he had to do a double, plus he's a painting contractor. So it's like, why are you doing a double at my job and complaining if you're it doesn't make sense.
No, I ran into quite a few people, quite a few like that.
If you're just want money, don't complain. Take the money. But I mean, don't try to make me feel sorry for you. He's probably making, I don't know, I'm assuming he's making over 100K being a painting contractor, and he's eating up what I could be eating too, and complaining about it. No, it doesn't even make sense.
No, that doesn't make sense. But what makes sense anymore in this world?
Yeah, but anyway, you get no sympathy
The
out.
only,
Come on.
the only thing I feel, the only thing I feel is the only thing that makes sense is Mother Nature. She makes everything make sense.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not, I don't knock people that are doing well, but I'm not, my clientele's full. There's people that are really hurting that, and I feel sorry for someone because you did a double, but you're also a contractor. Right? No, that's crazy. They get their own little pea brain and they think that's normal.
Right.
I'm working off of the one job. So sometimes it's hard. I got to do a double or some graveyard or something, but you don't have to. All he's got to do is say no.
Exactly.
And then like you said, there's homeless that aren't even there. People time. It's,
There's quite a few that I used to supervise. I was a field supervisor doing security work.
mm-hmm.
I had quite a few when I told them they had to do a double. They came back at me with the OSHA laws. You can't make us do doubles.
They can't make us either. That's the thing. You got to say no, but you want to get hours. I don't even know why the guy claimed he wanted to retire this year. Why are you trying to get more hours? It doesn't even don't make sense to me either.
Being retired isn't what it's all cracked up to be.
And here's the thing. Quit trying to deceive everybody. Just tell what you got. Just either tell the truth or don't talk. I don't want to try to figure out all the lies.
Be happy with what you have.
That's it too. I mean, there's a lot of people in the Bay Area, and it's harder to make it here that aren't doing that well. Don't try to act like you should be pitied when you're doing well. That doesn't make sense.
Everybody is one paycheck away from being on the streets in this country. And try to explain that to somebody that's got a bank account.
Yeah. It's, I guess because I've been totally broke before. You've got a contracting business. Well, yeah, I'm sure it takes work to keep it going, but for me, if I'm doing good at a business, I'm sticking with it. I'm not even doing the other job.
Right.
I know he's probably thinking you can get pension out of it because potentially we can if we ever get in, but it's just I've been doing it for 9 years and I haven't got in, so
well,
it's probably never going to happen for him.
As a security officer, there is no union. There's no national union for a security officer.
You know what? Who I thought went national was Allied.
No.
They didn't nationally go union?
Nope. There is no union security company anywhere in the country.
Maybe it was all California. I thought a big giant part of them went union. I could be wrong, but because I was working for Allied Universal for a minute.
Well, security did have a union. at one time, but it was the police officers that took it over, saying,
Oh,
saying that they didn't want security being paid close to what they're being paid.
right. Competition thing. Huh?
Yeah, they put the security officer out in the fields for little to hardly nothing, putting their lives on the line before the police officer ever gets there.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
I lost a coworker at a bank a few years, a little while back. He was outside waiting on employees, and somebody drove up on him and opened fire.
Wow. It's a shame. That I was security at a little hotel slash timeshare hotel, like, and there was people that would mess with the cars on the street. Okay, so we're out there to have a presence, but you know what? The hotel isn't so dumb to put themselves on the line and say I have to mess with somebody that's messing with a car, because they know damn well it's outside of the hotel ground.
Right.
And I'm not so dumb as to have an altercation with somebody out there over something that's on public ground. But my coworker, I came in, he says, "Oh, there was somebody out there with a car," and I went up, kind of went over there, and they took off. I said, "Well, that's a good thing." And he looked at me all crazy. I said, "Look, you don't want to get in an altercation with the people out here. The hotel is not going to back you for a second if you do. If you go out there and get in a fight with somebody or whatever, something happens, they're going to say you're on our property." So I was trying to explain this to this guy from another country, and he didn't quite understand how it works here, I guess. And I said, "Hey, I'm not going to have an altercation out there over somebody's car. I might go out there and say something, but if it comes to try to wrestle with something, I'm running back in the hotel." Sorry. Because that's where my job site is, the hotel.
Right. The only thing
I'm just a presence.
You're authorized. The only thing you're authorized to do is observe and report. Get the description of try to get the pedigree as much as you can of the individual.
What happened? What time? What the guy, girl, or whoever look like?
Right.
But don't.
And which way did they go?
Yeah.
Were they on foot? Were they?
Details, right? But some people don't understand that. They think they're a cop, or maybe they want to be, but then that's fine. But just understand where you really are.
Just understand one thing, that you wind up doing far more damage to yourself and your company than what you think.
I mean, I was out there one night, and because we got supposed to watch a perimeter race, we basically stand outside sometimes. And plus, you know what's going on, for your own protection too. When you get off work, you know what's going on out there. Anyway, people say, "Oh, well, something happened," I don't even think they're staying. They're up the road somewhere. So it's like a big road, and somebody broke into our thing and got our iPad or something off the seat or whatever. I'm thinking, "Are you stupid? Why you leave it in the seat?" But I just said, "Oh, okay, well," I said, "Are you staying at this hotel?" Okay, thanks. What do you want me to do about it? I'm not a cop, number one, and you're not even staying in our place. I'm not going to write down anything over that. You're staying somewhere else. You just parked on the same street.
And you came upon me as the first one to report to.
Exactly. And
when something like that happens, when something like that would happen to me, I would grab my phone and call the non-emergency number, tell them I need an officer. Somebody's standing here, got their vehicle broke in, they're not on my property. They need an officer. Then when the officer would get there, I'd stand back a little bit away from the vehicle for backup, just in case.
Yeah, makes sense. These people had something that I don't know what they're tripping off. They're thinking the city is so wonderful and, probably think there's no crime. But guess what? In San Francisco, they decriminalized window breaks. So that means that it's free range. If you see somebody sees something they want, bust the window and take something, it's okay, basically.
Right.
So they're not coming out over trivial shit no more, basically, too. If it's that, forget it. We're not spending our time on it. That's the thing. Right around that time, I had heard that, and then, they don't leave anything that looks valuable exposed. Everybody should know that. These people, I didn't even. Well, you got. I think I told you. I'm sure. I think if I remember right, she had an iPhone and all this. So they're doing okay. I was just like, God, you're not staying at this place, or I would have said, hey, can I do a report or something? And they were, thanks for letting me know.
Well, what I used to say is, do you want me to contact the police for you, or do you want to contact them? There's nothing I can do for you.
Right. I guess that would be a community service of like, hey, I contact them for you.
If they wanted to contact PD and they didn't have the number, I usually had the number in my phone. So I would give them PD's non-emergency number.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Because definitely, everybody talks about 911, but if you have the real number of the agency, you're better off. Because you don't have to go through all that magma to get to where you want to get.
Right. And one thing a lot of people don't realize,
just
even the non-emergency number is being recorded.
Then tomorrow afternoon will warmer. We're going to reach 16 degrees for that high temperature.
No, that goes to the fire department, whatever. If you call them direct, you're saving all them levels. I don't care if things are computerized, you're saving levels of drama. Go direct to who you need.
Actually, if it's a fire,
number the police directly to call if there's anything, so you don't have to get caught up in that nonsense.
If there's now if somebody's sitting there bleeding right in front of me, I try to administer first aid. I'm calling PD. I'm calling 911 to get them help as soon as I can.
Right. Yeah, hey, if it gets it there quicker. But, I was working on a bridge one time in the little town where I live. I told people, hey, call them directly, the fire department, if something happens. You call 911. It's got to go clear through that system. And
sometimes that system's not totally accurate with where your number's at.
Yeah. And nowadays with all the cell phones and hardly anybody has a landline out here, and it's always going to be drama because you got to let them know where you're at.
Right. And
Somebody get that mixed up, and
I've got a St. Louis number, and I'm not in St. Louis.
see, it's
My
like
phone, my
it's like
phone,
it's people still go by the area code. I have a Vallejo number. I'm not in. I live in 510, not 707. So same type of people are, oh, you live in, no, I don't. When I bought the phone, it came with that.
yeah, my number's from St. Louis, but Google says I'm in Kansas City.
Yeah, see, is that a long ways away? Probably.
4 hours.
Yeah, that's a long ways away. They similar, you know. People are, oh, you live in Vallejo. No, I don't. But unless I can change the number, and now I've had this number so long, I don't want to change it. But I bought the flip phone. It came with a 707 number, so I just figured I was stuck with it. You know.
Right. But yeah, I haven't even had a chance to look at that mag yet.
You get to it. Yeah, you get around to it. We probably have another giveaway, and whenever it comes out again, right? So, I don't know if that's in the spring or there might be a winter. I sent one to somebody that I encountered through the Northwest Permaculture Convergence. It was like this Zoom thing, and it was all online. Nobody actually met in person. It was interesting. And some of it I agree with, some of it was extreme for me. But anyway, someone that's associated with my work in LA that I'd never met, I kind of met online, and I said, but like, hey, did you get it? I could email this lady, and I thought, oh, well, then come to find out, she gave me the wrong PO box. Finally, though, I prompted her, in other words, like, hey, let me know, because I don't want to be in the dark whether you got it or not. And finally, she said, oh, I got it. So the mail has been slower for some reason, too. It's disconcerting to think it's lost in the mail or.
I may be dropping here real quick. Ron.
Okay. No problem.
Because you're starting to sound like a robot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no problem.
But
After a few, and then it looks like I've been on here an hour and a half, amazingly enough, already.
Yeah.
I got about
That last half hour just flew by.
And then I can relax a little bit. I can say I did my 55. So that means probably next Saturday I could do another live, and then I need 8 more. I could maybe do 8 more videos. If not, I reconfigured it to be within 75 days, so that way I got more stretch if I need it. And still a good thing. 55 within 75 days is a lot of videos. And
Yeah.
it was getting daunting anyway, and then my work hitting up. Wow. I've been doing 2-day weeks, and all of a sudden I've done 3, and a couple of them were these night shifts. One was a real graveyard, one was a partial graveyard. Get off at 4 a.m. Yeah, it's a little challenging to come back to normal.
Right. Well, if you still got something to do, you might want to. With us doing it an hour, looks like an hour and 34, almost 135. An hour 35.
135. I might stretch it another 20 or something, try to get 2 hours. But maybe not. because they still got an hour and a half. And, you know, of course, I'd like to get the watch time and get the monetization, but it's not.
Well,
It's just
yeah,
kind
you were talking about the videos that get hot all of a sudden. My very first video.
some of them do, and I don't know why exactly, except for like if they haven't got a woman on the thumbnail, they get more views for sure.
My first video. It's only 49 seconds. It's already had over 1,000 views.
Wow. See? Coming in hot.
And then ever since then, my views have been 50 or so.
Yeah. So you went back to normal kind of. Huh? You just never know what's gonna. If I end up in Hawaii this year, I'm gonna get a bunch of these SD cards and I'm just gonna load them up with video and try to, you know, if I'm there 10 days, try to make like 30 videos. Sometimes I've made video and I don't ever upload it because I get too picky. And I'm gonna quit being so picky. If I think some idea or something to talk about, I'm just gonna start doing it. So that's what I've got trying to make a lot of videos in a shorter time is that I'm realizing that I'm breaking through my own thing of stopping myself. Pushing me. I feel something's worthy of a video, just do it, upload it. Do it, edit it a bit, upload it. You know, quit being so picky. That's the market decide type of thing. People like it, great. You know? Maybe I'll stick around to watch the next one until I do something like.
True. Yeah, I can't believe that first one just took off like it did. It also depends on what tags you put on your video too.
Mm-hmm. And the title and stuff. A lot of times I don't put a description, which I'm sure people know. It's in the title. And when listen to the birds sing, I realized later that's the title of a song too, right? But it's gonna have literally listening to the birds sing. But 300 and some, I was impressed for sure. But
right.
When I make it to Hawaii next time, I'm gonna try to hit them with about 30 more videos, and I might not stagger them. I might just in a couple weeks put the 30 up and just here's my Hawaii thing.
No, you don't want to do that. Stagger them. You'll have 30 videos. You can do it, and about stretch them out. You can go almost 30 weeks on those 30 videos. Do one a week.
You think you get more views and everything?
Right. Because if you do it 2 or 3 videos a day, the first one you upload will be the one getting the views. The other 2 won't.
Huh. I guess that makes sense.
Or the one that will get hardly any views will be your middle one. If you do 2 or 3.
Really?
It's in the Creator Studio.
Oh, okay. I never looked at that. Yeah. Check that out.
YT Creator Studio. You can find it.
Link, but I just never go there. I've heard of it.
You can find it. You can find it on your dashboard.
Mm-hmm. I'll check that out. YT Creator Studio. I know with me is say when I get behind on somebody's videos, I start getting picky. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and when I pick for, what I usually shoot for is the shorter ones because I can hit more people's videos than say you got an 18-minute video and an 8-minute video. I'm picking the 8 because then I'll grab somebody else's 8 or 6 or 3 and boom, boom, boom. In an hour, I could watch several people's, then 3 or 4. I can watch maybe 8 or 10, so, and support more channels, I feel like, then, so I'll do that and make my time work better.
Right. My longest video is only a 12-minute video.
But he was coming in every time with 50-minute videos. And, I mean, this is when I first started 4 years ago. I gave up on him because he didn't have enough short videos. And he would repeat. It's good in a way to repeat so people remember. But when you're repeating 3, 4, 5 times in the same video, I already got the idea. So but this guy's I think he's got like 90,000 subs. People, I guess, that want to watch a long video every time of him just keep repeating the same thing. I make videos that I'd like to watch, which tend to be shorter.
Right.
That's hurting me in the long run, but in the short run, I don't know. Maybe it's helping.
Yeah. The video that I would have uploaded, instead of me stretching it out to almost 5 minutes, it would have been very short, maybe a 2-minute video.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my video on the typhoon. I had added a couple of my other videos, added parts of those for the background from my wife.
All right, this is John
From
Curley.
Mindoro.
I have another exciting episode.
Okay, excuse me. Okay, yeah. I'm checking out this guy's thing again as I'm listening. And I'm just looking. I was wrong. He's got 766,000 subscribers. And I'm looking at his video links here. He's got like 40 minutes. And I mean, to qualify, none of these are like a live stream show. It's all just video. So he's talking about grow the sweetest kale, 38 minutes. Look at all like his summer harvest, 40 minutes. There's a few 20 minutes now, but it seemed like before they're mainly 50-minute videos, and it was just killing me trying to watch them all. It's one thing live stream, and you want some time in your live stream, but if it's just a video you made just talking in the garden, give it a rest. I mean, you only have so much content in that hour that you're actually showing me this pineapple and it's taking an hour and 52 minutes. Give me a break. You could tell me that in 15 minutes.
You can tell me that in less than that.
So I know there's advantage to having longer videos, but I like people that are to the point too. Some of the people I watch that have mainly like Jay's Journey has a lot of long live stream. I regard that differently than someone's in the garden showing me something. Look at this, and then how does it take you an hour and 52 minutes to talk about that pineapple? I just don't. It's in a different category for me. Put it that way.
Right. Yeah, like I was saying about my last video that I uploaded. I took parts of showing what it looked like before the typhoon, and then what it looked like during the typhoon. And put all that into one video.
Cool. I was making a buy local, and I lost a couple segments. And anytime I got to add all these other components, pretty soon for one thing, I lost the feeling of wanting to do it. And now I have components I have to add in. That one may never fully get made. I'll make a different one of the same thing.
Right.
Once it becomes dramatic, it's just like, oh, give it a rest. I'm going too far with it or something,
I'm still working on my video from my trip down to OMJ last month.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
from
cool.
October.
You can make a nice video out of it, I'm sure.
I'm trying to. I, I had it upwards of almost 20 minutes just in video clips and stills.
Let me tell you something. If you get a chance to get Windows Movie Maker for an editing program, I I think it's great. I used to have what was it called? Sony had
I
something
don't think anybody's in the chat.
something Movie Maker, and no, I think they all dropped out. And anyway, I switched over because I had to, and it's the best thing that could ever happen to me. Switching over to that, it'll take any format you want. In other words, any company's, because I had the one from Sony, and then I had a camera that was a Canon, and it wouldn't show it, and all this craziness. When I was trying to edit it, I had to take it out of there and do all this craziness to edit the things. And Windows Movie Maker, they don't even care. You have
Right.
the SD card, you upload it onto there, you can trim it very easily, you can add other things to it. There's features I haven't used on there, but it's really easy to do what you do there. I'm going to try to get a copy of that and put on the next couple computers because it's just so good. It saved me so much time over Sony Play Memories. Sony Play Memories I thought was good because I didn't know anything about editing. Windows Movie Maker has it all over them, hands down. Head and shoulders above them. And now that I've used it for a while, I realize, no, I want to copy that on every single computer I get.
Yeah, I just uploaded a couple movie director cut movies,
Mm-hmm.
movie makers, to my phone because I got everything in my phone.
Oh, okay. I have made some videos on the phone, but then I take the chip, the SD mini SD chip, and put in the computer and do it that way. And they
Well,
come out okay.
I got a micro memory card in my phone,
Uh-huh.
but nothing's saving to it.
Oh, okay.
So what I've got is what I do is I make the movie or make the video, save it to the device, and it automatically backs to Google.
Oh, okay.
Every one of my videos is automatically backed up to Google.
Okay, yeah, I don't do any of that. It's all just strictly. But hey, if it works for you, great. I know it works kind of for me, and what's not working is good for me. Like one of the things I'm having is I keep reusing the same SD cards, right? So the problem is I don't delete a lot of that, and things get lost in files, and that's part of the thing of making these videos that I lost the component. Well, when I go to Hawaii, here's what I want to do. I have like 20 chips. And when I go, video this, video that, fill up the chip, put another chip, put 1 through 20 or 30 or whatever. And that's it. Instead of upload a video. And then, let me put more on that chip tomorrow. It makes so much chaos for me that it's easier just to buy more of the SD cards, I think, than and just have it marked out 1 through 20 or whatever, and just use that. Don't use it.
Yeah.
At least for like if I'm going on a trip, because right now I'm struggling with that, and it just I also have the same file number again, and then I have the other one on my desktop, and it doesn't want both of them. It just, some of this gets crazy, and it all comes back to not wanting to buy more of the SD cards.
Right.
And
You can actually buy a
more than I'm helping myself.
Right. You can buy there's a place you can go. I'm not sure if it's out there in California or not, or if you're going to have to order it online. But you can buy multiple SD cards. When I'm saying multiple, anywhere from 5 to 10.
I could probably get a discount buying more too at a time than like 1, 2, 1, 2. You know, probably go somewhere. Hey, I want 20 of these, and then, oh, hey, we'll cut you, whatever, 10% off or whatever. Probably.
Talk to Office Max or Office Depot. Tell them you want to buy a case of cards. This way you've got cards in backup.
Yeah.
Still in package.
And then I'll just mark a number on them, and then I just know, okay, this one, and then I can write it somewhere. One has this, has that, basically.
Put on the card itself and permanent marker on the label, put the number.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
But make sure you got an extra fine tip marker and don't press too hard. Because all them SD cards are a very, they're
Kind of brittle.
they're brittle, but they're also like the old floppy drives. They can hold a lot of memory. There's some out there that can hold a full terabyte. You can put 4 or 5 movies on a terabyte.
Oh, okay. You know what? I have small to large SD amount, and I don't think I've ever filled any of them up. So it's kind of a waste probably getting the bigger volume ones. I've got 128 gig. I will probably never fill that one up. And yet I got all these files that just confuse me. What's on this? What's on that? What's on, And then a couple of them I want to keep. And
as you're doing them, as you're putting your numbers on your cards, get a ledger and write down your numbers.
Yeah.
This way you know what's on that number of an SD card. Just a little something to think about.
Makes sense. That's what I was starting at one point, and what made it fall apart, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I got another text about the election. Okay, I already voted. So the last one I got, I replied with a text. I said, I already voted. Leave me alone. So I wonder what they said at the headquarters of whoever.
Well, you're at 153 now.
For whatever it was they're talking about or whoever, but I'm tired of getting texts about it. I voted a week ago. Send it in. Leave me alone,
Right. Well, you're at 153 now.
Getting close.
I'm going to drop down, but I wanted to jump up here and let you know that I did get your mag.
Okay, thanks for letting me know, and thanks for coming by and getting on the panel, Joe.
Hey, no problem. How much of it?
Your friends and relatives that said you're okay.
Well, I'm waiting to hear back from the Philippines. They're just now getting up over there. Some of them. And some of them don't get up until 10, 11 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, okay. Well, it's 15 hours ahead of me, so that makes it...
Actually, they're not 15 hours.
No?
Since we just rolled our clocks forward here, that moves them to 14 hours ahead of me.
Something I looked up the other day said they said it was 15 hours ahead of me. Maybe it was wrong. I looked up.
Or no, it is. But that's during the summertime. They're 15 hours.
Oh, so now it's like 14 or something.
Right.
So that would make it 1 p.m., 3 p.m. there. No, a.m. Yeah, early morning tomorrow.
Yeah, it here it's it just turned 5:04 in the morning in the Philippines.
Yeah. So yeah, like you say, there people are just stumbling up and seeing what's going on. Well, I hope not too many people got hurt. You know, that's a shame.
Well, I'll find out more from a couple of my news apps that I've got when I get notifications. And then I've got a friend of mine that's keeping an eye on it too. They're going to let me know through Messenger.
Okay.
Um,
Hoping for the best for everybody. I hate, I know things happen, but it's a shame when people are getting hurt and all that. It's difficult.
right. Yeah, you said you're not on Facebook or you don't have Messenger, so no sense on me putting my name in private chat.
Yeah, no, I'm not on any of those, any of the fancy things. If it's a fancy thing, I'm not on it. So-called fancy thing. Somebody said get on more of these social, like, oh, you can do TikTok and you can, hey, YouTube's enough for me. You know what I mean? I don't want to be on 10 different social media things trying to promote the YouTube. I don't want to spend my whole life here.
Well,
It
I
takes,
might.
and it's not that I don't enjoy YouTube and find the YouTube community and all this, but there's a limit for me. I don't make money at it either. So it's maybe if I started making money, I'd want to, but no, just for free, just going to be around the clock and I have a job. I can't survive without some kind of income. So I'm not that optimistic.
Well, I've got Instagram, I've got Twitter, and believe it or not, MySpace is still being used.
Huh. I've never had that one.
It's hard to find unless you've already got an account.
Hmm. They don't promote it anymore, huh? I thought it died out.
Everybody did.
But like everything, I mean, I remember years ago, this guy, I'm at a recycle center, this guy's there looking for floppy disks, and it's well beyond, and they're popular at all. We're already into the mini disk and all that and beyond. And this guy, oh no, they work good. This guy had some computer and he knows how to operate it real well, and he had like the 5-inch floppy disks he was looking for.
Yeah, the old 3x5s.
And to him it worked, right? But
The old
people weren't up to that speed.
the old Commodore 64.
He said, oh no, I do this and I do that, and it all works. And okay, I'm looking at him like, wow, you're brainy.
Some of them programs, after a certain amount of time, deteriorate,
Oh, okay.
and the disk winds up being where you can't use it no more. I remember that. It all depends on how much you had it in the machine, how long it stayed in the machine, how hot the machine got.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But that was my first computer, was a Commodore 64.
Wow. Yeah, I wasn't into computers then. When I was going to get a computer one time, I was at a garage sale and they had one really cheap, and I was debating because I didn't know about dealing with a computer, and they had something like that really cheap. But I thought, well, am I actually 'Cause, sometimes I have an idea, but I never really put the time in to engage with it. I'll think, wow, this thing could really be, I said, I better not, because I've had a lot of ideas that I didn't really engage with. It started and just it fell away. So I left it. But I remember coming across one. Wow, it's a computer. I can hook this up, and I didn't. I waited and got Windows 98 with a tower
Yeah, I'm
in 99 or something. I got it and started.
my my desktop's gonna be a probably a Windows 10 Pro.
Oh, okay. I don't know what this one is that I'm on right now. I have no idea. I've lost track of what's what. XP or and above. I'm lost again with it. They keep changing it every year to something, it seems like.
Yeah, they're actually working on. They've got the next generation ready to go. Windows. They're working 2 generations ahead now on Windows.
Yeah, then everything's not going to work. It kind of makes me more mad than anything when they come out with something new now. Pretty soon everything doesn't work in a year, and then it's just frustrating. I'm tired of being frustrated. Give me something's going to run for 20 years.
They will still work, but to a point.
If I can,
Well, we're already over.
if I can
We're
watch,
over 2 hours, Ron.
oh, cool. If I get it where I can watch video, make video, do email, look up something, that's all I need. I don't need like developer tools. I'm not gonna do all that. You know what I mean? I'm just the car driver. I don't need to be the damn mechanic. Don't want to
Well,
be.
when I was driving, I was the driver and the mechanic all in one. But that's when we had the regular carburetors. We didn't have the fuel injectors.
Yeah, and all the electronic brain in there. That's what tells me with cars how we're getting ripped. Because look, if they get that electronic brain and really just a signal on the pedal, come on, you can't give me a lot better mileage.
Right. Well, I'm going to get off here, Ron. You're already over 2 hours.
Nice. All right. Thanks again for coming up. See you next time.
Yep. Adios, my friend.
All right. Have a good one, Joe. And it looks like my viewers have dropped away. My viewers have dropped away. Maybe with poor singing, I'll bring a few back. I sing better when there's tile around me and a shower head operating. At least it sounds better to me. I'm not saying anybody would ever pay me to hear that, but that's the thing. And I learned a little bit about Kentucky today from Pete, and he fell away somewhere. He got tired of listening. And Steve's Growing Space came by. Our Mandora Journey came by. Howie from Food Forest Permaculture came by. Who else came by? Joe from Joe and Jenny Journey came by, also known as J3. Pizza the Homestead. And Homestead Oss, I think, came by. So anyway, thanks everybody for coming by. I'm going to call this a video. Cut it short there. And everybody, if you haven't, start growing some food. It's going to be beneficial in the future. Trust me. Thanks for watching.